Hello everyone and welcome to part 3 of my DVD collection update for October of 2012. Like I said, watch part 1, part 2, and then watch part 3 if you want to go in chronological order. Anyways, I'm still on my DVDs. Like I said, I have DVDs, I have books, I have comics, I have video games, and not just on one system. I have multiple systems, video games. Anyways, and I'm still on my DVDs. This next one, if you watch my unboxing right in this video, then you would have already seen this. Excuse me. And this is the unrated version of a Day Watch. This is, I haven't seen this, but I'm really looking forward to watching this. It'll probably be a great film. I loved Night Watch. Night Watch was a really cool one. I really enjoyed it, and just Night Watch was very cool. It's Timur who did Abraham Lincoln, and all those other kind of films. Wanted and stuff like that. He did Night Watch and Day Watch, and it's supposed to have Twilight Watch, in the next few years, but it probably will never get made since, he's probably going to do the Wanted sequel now, so it'll probably never get made. But nonetheless, we always have Night Watch and Day Watch, right? This is pretty much an over the top. It's a Russian foreign film. It is dubbed, but I would rather watch the subtitled version in the Russian language. Anyways. That is a Day Watch. Next up is a film starring Dennis Hopper, and that is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Now, this is, just so you guys know, this is, of course, the sequel to Texas Chainsaw Massacre. 3D version. The sequel to the original comes out next year, I believe January 4th, 2013. Anyways, a little sidetracked. So anyways, as you know, like the original was very serious, meant to be taken seriously. Though I do feel the original has some sequences of black humor, some black comedy in there. I do feel like there are a few sequences of humor in there. I don't know if it's done intentional. I'm pretty sure it's done intentionally. I'm pretty sure because Tobe Hooper, who did Poltergeist and both Texas Chainsaw 1 and 2, this one also, he did that one. And I'm pretty sure there's some scenes in there that are meant to be funny. There's some black humor moments on purpose, I'm sure. I'm pretty sure. I just watched it recently, and I got some... First time I watched it, I didn't catch those black humor vibes. I watched it for a second time, and I caught several. So I'm pretty sure there's some black humor vibes in the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Anyways, this, all horrors, thrown aside, and this is pretty much a black comedy at heart. It is a horror film, but this has several moments. Bill Moseley's in this, and he'll also be in the one coming out next year, the 3D one. Playing a different role, though. He plays Chop Top Sawyer on this one. He'll play Drayton Sawyer in Texas Chainsaw 3D. So anyway, we got Bill Moseley and Dennis Hopper in it. I thought it was really funny, a really cool comedy horror film with several moments of black humor, and just a fun film that everyone can have a good laugh at, and still know at heart that it's a comedy and it's a horror comedy, and it's not meant to be taken seriously. It's just meant to have a good time with, right? But there are some kind of weird, eerie, it gets real strange around, like, the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, if you've seen it, gets real strange around the end, but once again, this gets real strange around the end, but it's great. So anyways, this next one is directed by Oliver Stone, and that is Natural Born Killers. The director's cut version apparently includes unedited footage. I watched the first 5 minutes of this on TV about a month ago, and I really enjoyed it, really over the top. There's several moments where it goes from color, then it goes to black and white, then it goes to like this reddish color scheme. Anyways, I really enjoyed what I watched. I went ahead and picked it up on Amazon. Anyways, that's Natural Born Killers. Haven't seen it yet. Next up is, excuse me, a little uncomfortable, is a movie in the Hannibal series, and that is the most recent one made, based off the book, of course. That is Hannibal Rising, the full screen edition. Westwood 1 says an edge of your seat thriller. I saw this years ago. I barely even remember it. I remember scenes with the sword and stuff like that. I remember certain death scenes, but I don't really remember what it's about. This one pretty much, Silence of the Lambs told you, Silence of the Lambs, told you You learned how he did it. You learned how he did the killings. Red Dragon said, you learned who he was, and this one tells you the big question, as it says on the back in the plot synopsis. This tells you why he did it. And that's Hannibal Rising. This next one is an old 80s classic, I believe, made in 1982, directed by Tobe Hooper, and we all know this one by the name of Poltergeist. This is being remade now, from what I understand. Anyways, from what I understand, the same. I'm not for sure. Well, never mind. I was gonna say something, but never mind. Anyways, Poltergeist. We all know this one. I'm not gonna talk about it too much. I picked up this. They're starting to have all their Halloween films at Walmart now, and I got this for a lousy $4. So I thought, can't pass it up for Poltergeist. My favorite Tobe Hooper film, though, is the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Next up is Rugrats in Paris, the movie. I haven't seen this in years, so I know I'm going to like it. Once again, it's going to bring back nostalgia when I watched it, because I haven't seen it in a very long time. This next one, I watched this one a long time ago, back when it first came out, and that is called Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. It's a horror comedy again. Very bloody, very, very bloody horror comedy, shall I say. And it's just a really cool one. Kind of give you a rundown what it's about. This, as you can see, the main actress there, it stars Tyra Levine, Alan Tudyk, and Katrina Bowden. Anyways, Fangoria calls it brilliant, hilarious, and genius. Anyways, so Tucker and Dale is pretty much about these two hillbillies that live way out in the woods, and they're fixing up an old cabin, an old shed that they want to fix up. I think they want to live in there or something like that. It's been a while since I've seen this. Anyway, so there's some teenagers that are out, on a vacation or something like that, and one of them ends up going for a swim. Well, what ends up happening is the teenager she's with think that the hillbillies are keeping her captive, but in all reality, they saved her life. She was in the river, and from what I understand, I think she was drowning or something like that. In all reality, they saved her. Well, the teenagers think that they're kidnapping her, so it ends up kind of being a battle between the teenagers and the hillbillies, when in all reality, the hillbillies are actually good guys and they're good people, when the teenagers think they're, crazed serial killers. Anyways, that's all I'm going to say. That's pretty much the gist of Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. Really cool movie. This next one is a Schwarzenegger film directed by, I forget the guy's name, but same guy who did RoboCop. Anyways, that is by the name of Total Recall. Recently was remade this year, a few months back, with starring Colin Farrell and Kate Beckinsale. It was an alright remake. But compared to this, it's mediocre as heck. The remake was decent, cool action sequences. Colin Farrell was kind of bland, but it was a decent movie. But this is vastly better. Anyways, really cool movie. Science fiction, if you don't know, based off a book. I believe the book's called "We Can Sell It to You for Wholesale," a short story. This next one stars Adrian Brody, Roman Polanski, and Ronald Hardwood, and it's called The Pianist. And this is kind of out of, as you can probably tell, it's out of my normal kind of films. I usually buy a lot of horror, blockbuster films. This is a little different from what I normally buy. Adrian Brody, this is the winner of 3 Academy Awards. Adrian Brody won Best Actor, Best Director, Roman Polanski, and Best Screenplay for Ronald Hardwood. It's adapted from a novel, from what I understand. Chicago Tribune calls it Best Picture of the Year. Anyways, it's a Holocaust movie. It's about a survivor of, or it's kind of not really a survivor, but a guy that lives in the whole area of the Holocaust, and there's a scene where he has to play dead to get away from the German officers, and he kind of lives in the whole, time of them taking the people from the Jews to the concentration camps, and he has to live with all these things going on in this, this world in Germany that's falling apart. Anyways, that's The Pianist. Cool movie. This next one I just watched recently, and I didn't like it much at all. It was a cool concept. And then the ending was just, I didn't like the twist ending. Just wasn't really what I was looking for. It tried to take this, At first I thought it was going towards the supernatural right at first, then it turns into something that's not supernatural at all, and I just couldn't get too much into it. And that's a movie starring Jessica Biel. Jessica Biel does a good job though. She does do a great job in this movie, and that is called The Tall Man. The acting, there's nothing wrong with the acting. It's the same guy, Pascal Laguerre, who directed Martyrs, and Martyrs is supposed to be a really cool movie. But I'm kind of hesitant to check it out now because this was mediocre. Anyways, I blindly bought this at Walmart for $10, and kind of a waste of money because if I would have saw it, I probably wouldn't have bought it. Anyways, what can you do? This next one is a special edition from the creators of Wallace and Gromit. These guys did that recently. They did Pirates, Band of Misfits, Wallace and Gromit, and this is their movie by the name of, I'm sure you know, as you can read, Chicken Run. I haven't seen this in a long time. To bring back nostalgia once again when I watch it, and I haven't seen this in a very long time, so I don't really know. I remember bits and sequences of it. I remember the gist of it, but not too much. Anyways, that's Chicken Run. This video is going to probably run about 5 or 6 minutes longer than the other ones because I'm going to try to finish up these DVDs up very quickly. Next up is Season 1 of Johnny Bravo. This is a really cool show. Just kind of a classic show, that premiered back in the 90s, I believe. And there's not a lot of shows out there anymore like Johnny Bravo. 2-disc. Just a really cool one. There's some Scooby-Doo in here where it shows Scooby-Doo. Like there's an episode where they have Scooby-Doo characters and Johnny Bravo's in it, so it's really cool to see that. I believe there's also an I Am Weasel segment in Johnny Bravo in this season, so it has a commentary on 3 episodes. Just a really cool show. I'm sure we all know Johnny Bravo. Very cheap, I picked that up for. This next is a remake. I haven't seen it, but I have seen the original, and I love the original. And that is Ryan Reynolds starring in the Amityville Horror. The producer from the Michael Bay, the producer of the remake of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Haven't seen this, but from what I understand, it's pretty much a direct remake. Like there's not too much different. It's like a shot for shot kind of thing. And if not, then forgive me. But I haven't seen it, so I don't know too much about it. Next up is Season 6 of a TV series called Stargate. And I've seen Season 1. I'll talk a little bit more about my opinion on Season 1 in a second. Anyways, Season 1, 6-disc. Oh, this isn't Season 1, excuse me. This is Season 6 of Stargate. Each of them have this has 1 disc, and these are the re-released edition, the slim set. As you can see, the very thin cases. The very thin cases. Each of these have 2 discs in them. This is Season 6 of Stargate. I don't have the slipcase, but I do have just the 3 individual volumes. Season 6 of Stargate. We'll talk more about that here in a second when I show you Season 1. Next up is my second to last DVD that I picked up. I just recently actually finished up the series today. I marathoned this series over the weekend. And if you haven't seen this, you really ought to check it out. And that is by the name of American Horror Story. This is the complete first season. Season 2 premieres October 17th, Wednesday night at 9 or 10 o'clock, I believe. This is a really cool show. It's like a haunted house thing. Every horror thing you could want is in this series. It's a great series. I just recently rewatched it, like I said, for a second viewing. It had been about a year since I had seen it, and it had even more in effect the second time I watched it. There were so many things that I had forgotten about. Ryan Murphy, who created Nip Tuck and Glee and The New Normal now, he also did American Horror Story. And if you guys don't know, American Horror Story is actually, American Horror Story, this is the end of if you have seen it, this is the end of the Harmon family. Everything that you saw, you're not going to see anymore. The story ended with Season 1. Season 2 picks up with it's like an anthology thing. It picks up with a totally different story. It picks up in the 60s and it picks up in an insane asylum. You have returning actors that they will star as different characters in season 2 of American Horror Story, and that was the creator Ryan Murphy's original intent was to make an anthology TV series in the vein of Tales from the Crypt, but instead of making an episodic anthology, he makes it a season anthology where each season, depending on how many seasons run, each season is a different story. None of the seasons are connected, and each season is different. So this one was kind of about a haunted house, and it was 12 episodes long, and that's it. That's the story's over after 12 episodes. And now we have American Horror Story premiering in a few weeks. Season 2 of American Horror Story, and that will take place in an insane asylum. I believe they're titling it American Horror Story Asylum. Anyways, so that'll be season 2. So if you guys are wondering if season 2 is going to pick up where this one left off, it's not going to. That's the end. Anyways, this is a great series. This is a 4-disc edition. This is the DVD 4-disc edition. Really cool TV series. If you guys have not seen it, you really ought to check it out. Next up is the last DVD I picked up, and then we'll go on to part 4. And that is Stargate. As you can see, it's a thick, massive set picked up for very cheap online. Anyways, this is Stargate Season 1, and I absolutely loved this series. It is a great science fiction thriller movie series. It has characters from the movie. Of course, they're played by different people. Richard Dean Anderson plays Kurt Russell's character, and then I forget the actor's name, but James Spader's scientist character is also in this series. Anyways, you have about 2 or 3 characters at least that go from the movie and that are in this TV series. Anyways, this expands on the TV series and has such a simple thing, about a Stargate transporting into other worlds and stuff, that it turns into such a complex story. A great season, 21 episodes. The first pilot episode is actually 1 hour and 36 minutes long. It's real long, and that episode is awesome. I love the entire series. I'll be reviewing it probably very soon. Anyways, this is the first release of it, and you can see it comes in that thick, thing. And then I have the 5 DVDs that come in. Anyways, that is Stargate SG1, adapted from the movie TV series. Anyways, that is my part 3. Those are all the DVDs that I picked out. Next time in part 4, we're going to be talking about the VHS tapes that I picked up, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching.